I wore this sweatshirt in the last video. Probably gonna wear it in the next. Deal with it. Today, we're going to talk about time. Originally I wanted to talk about parenting, but I feel like I'm kind of like the least qualified person to talk about parenting since I'm not a parent, nor do I want to be a parent, which is a whole thing in itself, but we're just going to ignore that for now. So, time. Time is always moving. It exists without us acknowledging it, without us wanting it to happen. Time is there whether we like it or not. That's just what it is. A lot of times we don't think about it. A lot of times we just go through our daily lives without realizing time is happening to us. Or like thinking about the fact that time is happening to us, which is a weird thing to think. And when people say, oh yeah, just be in the moment, stop for a second, think about where you are, ground yourself, they don't think about how time is part of that, which I realize coming out of my mouth doesn't make any sense. Let me back up. It's important to recognize that time happens and that time is always moving, whether you're standing still or on your way to somewhere, or if you're doing things that you don't like or things that you enjoy. It's just always happening. It's always moving. It's always going forward. It's never going backwards, which sucks, and I wish sometimes that I had the ability to move time backwards, but alas, here we are in a world in which I personally cannot time travel. I don't know if somebody else can. If somebody else can, please, if you're watching this, help me out, because I have some missed assignments from college that I'd really prefer to get in, so I don't have to retake that other class that I had to retake. Part of my mental state always is that I'm just existing. I'm not going to get into the whole depth of that. The main point that I want to make here is that we should always acknowledge that time is moving, but we shouldn't think of it as a constraint. That you can always do things, and sometimes those things take time. Sometimes those things have to take time. So there's just a feeling of being stuck in where you are at the moment, and that you're always regretting that you could have done more, but you didn't. And, that's kind of a troubling feeling for some people. But, there are some things, like some dreams or some goals that do take time. And, a lot of people don't recognize that. A lot of people just want their dreams and goals to happen now. A lot of that waiting period is often forgotten. And just because your dreams or goals didn't happen today or in this moment, doesn't mean that you're not a step closer to completing that goal or following that dream. Those things take time. A lot of times there are multiple steps to your dreams or goals, and this is something that me as a person with ADHD is really hard to understand, because I don't break things down easily in my brain. A lot of times I just think of them as one big task, and it's hard for me to recognize that there are different parts to a task, and that once it's something that I can do in 2 minutes, suddenly the entire project is that much more done, that much more attainable. Everything becomes clearer once I can recognize that it will take time, and that there are certain aspects to it that will take more time, and some aspects of it that will take less time. And this is just something that I've recognized over the years. This is something that I've learned how to adjust my life around. Not very well. I'm not a master at this yet. Those people who are just constantly doing things, or just always on the move, never taking a break. They're always productive. Time is those kinds of people that are just always doing something, always getting something done, and they're winning. That is time. Time is always winning. So it's a little bit hard to know when and where you are in that motion. Some things I find useful to ground myself in time and trying to get things done is sun up and sundown. Those are two easy times of day in which I know what time it is, I know where in the day I am, I know how many hours generally I have left before I have to go to sleep or wake up. But on a broader scale, we can say oh yeah, how do you know if a year's passed? How do you know that you're a year older, a month older? Looking at pictures and asking yourself, when were these taken? And just knowing, 5 years ago. Something like that can be easily benchmarked by your birthday or the New Year's, or even just month to month. How fast does your hair grow? That's how I know it's been a couple of months. If my hair is in my eyes, I know it's been about a month and a half to 2 months. And that's just how I benchmark time. It doesn't always have to be on the hour on the minute. Like, what I'm trying to say is that there's alternate methods of benchmarking time, and sometimes that's what's gonna work for you. If you want to get down to the nitty-gritty, most common / relatable probably benchmark for time is probably binge watching TV shows. Once you get to the end of the season, you know, oh, I've been sitting here for 12 hours watching this stupid TV show. Like, stuff like that. It doesn't always have to be conventional. Like, if that's how you're gonna like measure your length of time, that's how you're gonna measure time. And grounding yourself doesn't always mean stay put in the moment. Grounding yourself can mean, where am I gonna be in 2 minutes? How do I get there? I don't know, the whole point of this video was to recognize that time exists and that you might not meet your goals along a certain timeline. But you'll get there. That's the important part. You'll get there somehow. Whether it's on your timeline or Time's timeline or Susan down the street's timeline. Who the fuck knows? But I'm just starting to feel like a little bit more at ease that it exists and that it's always moving and I'm taking steps to move with it. And, you know, we're not always just stagnant, despite just feeling like in the daily grind or whatever you see in the mirror, like me, where I'm just like, oh snap, haven't aged another day. Yeah, just it's finding benchmarks that work for me and knowing how to plan my life around that instead of the clock, because I don't know. I know how to tell time. That's not the problem. I just can't feel time in the conventional way that other people do. Carlos.
What's up?
Would you like to do an outro?
What does that involve?
Just saying goodbye to the camera.
Like right now when I'm
Yeah, right now.
sweaty and gross.
What do you think I am? I don't know, I feel weird doing it by myself. Now that you're here. No,
Yeah, no,
get
go
in,
ahead. I will not
get in
judge
here.
you. Alright.
I'm gonna make you do it.
Is this for a vlog?
No. It's for an actual video about time.
Time?
Make like a Back to the Future joke or something.
Oh no. Is it filming right now?
Oh yeah.
Oh, great.
We're always
All right.
on.
Well, this is the end of the video, but it is not the end of Cody's wonderful stream of content. Whatever this is for, come back around for more.
Perfect. Alright, that's
Hey,
it.
did you love that rhyme?